This is your hometown station, WDBJ7.
First tonight, we just learned new information about a deadly house fire in Roanoke.
Also tonight, we take a closer look at what's being done to combat local gang activity after a murder last week in Bedford County.
And it's a soggy evening. We've got more chances of rain this week. I'm going to have your hometown forecast.
Good evening. I'm Jean Jadhunt.
And I'm Robin Reed. We begin tonight with breaking news. Investigators have just released new information about a deadly fire in Roanoke.
Fire crews were checking out a kitchen fire when they found someone dead in an apartment on Brandon Avenue. WDBJ7 Sarah Maki is live on the scene tonight. Sarah, what have you just learned?
Well, Jean, Robin, we just learned from police that they are investigating this case as a suspicious death. They are not identifying the person involved, but the person who lives here, we spoke with his family earlier, and they say they are absolutely shocked by what has happened. They only learned about this because they were walking by and saw the fire truck. So here's what we do know. Fire trucks came out to the apartment here on Brandon Avenue around 2 o'clock this afternoon. When they went inside, they found a deceased body there. That body has now been taken to the medical examiner's office for positive identification and for cause of death. Police say that at this time they are still trying to figure out what also caused that fire. Some fire crews have now left the scene, only to be replaced by the police forensics truck. We also do know from firefighters that there were 6 units in that apartment complex. Most of the fire damage was contained to the kitchen of this original unit. And Jean, police say that hopefully those other residents will be able to get back inside tonight. But we are still on scene. There are still investigators out here. So we're going to continue to work this case, and we'll bring you the latest information tonight after the NCAA championship.
All right, Sarah Maki at that apartment building, which is at Brandon, right near the intersection of Grandin and Roanoke. Thanks, Sarah.
New tonight, Bedford County Sheriff says he's preparing to take new steps following a high-profile murder. He didn't talk about last week's death of Raymond Woods specifically, but Sheriff Mike Brown says the incident has prompted him to take action. WDBJ7's Tim Saunders is live at the sheriff's office in Bedford tonight. Tim, the sheriff has raised concerns about gangs before, hasn't he?
He's been talking about this issue for years, Robin, and he says he's been wanting to step up his department's gang enforcement efforts for a while. After last week's murder, he knows he can no longer wait to act. A small memorial sits along Roaring Run Road, marking the spot where Raymond Wood was found dead 1 week ago.
The situation that manifested itself last week has given me concern.
Without going into specifics, Sheriff Mike Brown acknowledged the existence of gangs in his county during an interview with WDBJ7 Monday.
Does Bedford County have gangs? Yes. Does Bedford County have a gang problem? No. Not yet.
Brown says his department identified gang activity in the county, including some county schools, almost 20 years ago. In 2011, he asked for and received money from county supervisors to hire 2 investigators who would specifically monitor and address gang activity. Those investigators still work for the department today.
Gang investigators, they work with other departments. They exchange information with all of the contiguous counties.
Photos and details about known gang members are stored in a county database. What he knows about those people is alarming, but the sheriff doesn't believe gangs are currently posing an overwhelming threat.
I am concerned about it, but not gravely concerned.
On Wednesday, Sheriff Brown plans to meet with County Administrator Carl Bogus to share his plan for protecting the county from gang activity. Now, Robin, the sheriff did not share specifics with us about what his plan involves. He says he wants the county administrator to hear those details from him first.
New details from Bedford tonight. Tim, thank you very much.
Right now, it is raining in a lot of places in this region. That has been the story in many hometowns this afternoon. You can see many drivers on these wet roads in Roanoke. Kind of made it hard to see out there. Chief Meteorologist Brent Watts has a look at some of today's totals and where it's raining right now.
Gene, those amounts have been about 1/3 to 1/2 inch of rain. And yeah, it was a blinding rain in some cases. In fact, we're seeing that right along the 220 corridor and the 29 corridor from Botetourt to Bedford, parts of Franklin County, eastern Franklin County, all of Pittsylvania County getting that heavy rain, in eastern Henry as well, where you see those yellows and reds. Right along 29 from Chatham to Gretna all the way to Alta Vista. It's this line right here that's moving quickly to the east. It moves out fast, but it is producing some really heavy rain. Also gusty winds with that, so be prepared into Halifax County. You're going to be running into that too. The heaviest of rain getting ready to approach Lynchburg, this main line right here within the next hour or so, and then we'll keep that rain in the forecast through the evening. Now, as we look ahead to tomorrow, can't rule out a stray shower, but I'm thinking most of the heavier rain ends before midnight tonight. Just a stray shower in the morning. Tomorrow looks beautiful, sunny, warm, but I can tell you it's going to be very blustery. We'll talk about that and other chances for rain coming up in your hometown forecast.
Changes ahead. Thank you, Brent. 6th District Congressman Bob Goodlatte says the American Health Care Act isn't dead.
Although Republican leaders were unable to come up with enough votes last month, Goodlatte says the effort to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act continues. Senior reporter Joe DeShiel has our story.
It's a promise made that must be kept.
Bob Goodlatte hasn't lost his resolve to roll back the Affordable Care Act, even if the first attempt since the inauguration of President Donald Trump fell short.
The chair declares the House in recess subject to the call of the chair.
We interviewed Goodlatte this morning as he headed back to Washington after a weekend at home. He said the path forward should include an effort to unite Republicans around a health care plan that more of them can support.
I think the key to it is to put the more moderate members of the Republican conference together with the more conservative members and have them work it out and find us the 217 votes we need to pass it, and then be able to send it over to the Senate, which also has to address it.
And how soon will that happen?
Soon, I hope, but obviously there are lots of other things on our agenda as well, so I can't predict that.
This week, the focus in Washington is the confirmation of Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch. While that responsibility rests with the U.S. Senate, Goodlatte said he's encouraging Republican leaders to move forward with the confirmation, even if it requires a change in Senate rules to end debate and bring it to a vote. Gene and Robin, immigration and tax reform are two more issues that could soon be in the spotlight in the House. But Bob Goodlatte says that doesn't mean the health care debate is going away.
A lot going on in Washington.
A lot to deal with, that's for sure.
Yes, thank you, Joe.
In Roanoke, city council members may increase solid waste and water utility fees. Right now, Roanoke doesn't charge for solid waste. The council's thinking about adding a $7 a month fee. That's the same price people pay in Salem, and it's much lower than Danville. They might also increase the water utility tax from 12% to 20%.
We just don't know what other areas are going to fall short because the things are in such flux in Washington and to a certain extent in Richmond too. We're going to have a new governor next January, and we just don't know what's going to happen.
Councilmember Ray Ferris said the city should be cautious in taking on additional spending. The city will hold public hearings before any increases are approved.
Looking ahead to tonight, North Carolina and Gonzaga meet in Arizona with college basketball's biggest prize on the line. You can see the game at 9 tonight right here on WDBJ7. Sports Director Travis Wells is here now and says even though the game is out west, there is at least one local tie.
There is, Gene. Tonight's game will definitely have a Roanoke connection. William Fleming grad Steve Robinson is in his 22nd year alongside Coach Roy Williams, including 8 years at Kansas and another 14 at Carolina. Steve played at both Ferrum and Radford University, and this weekend he made his 8th Final Four appearance as a coach. The former head coach at Tulsa and Florida State, Robinson will try to help Coach Williams win his 3rd national title, and his former coach at Fleming, Charlie Van Leer, will be watching intently tonight.
Well, he's living the dream. And he's right there on the sideline, and it's been an interesting ride to follow him to this point. So, real excited for him tonight.
Now, over the weekend, Coach Williams called Coach Robinson his security blanket. The two share plenty of information and play lots of golf together in the off-season. Gene, we'll see if Robinson and the Heels can get it done against the underdog Gonzaga tonight.
We certainly will. And Travis, you and I are kind of in a battle ourselves tonight.
We are.
Our college hoops bracket challenge, that is, for the NCAA tournament ends tonight as well. Some of us at WDBJ7 are playing along. Guess what? I'm still in the lead with sports director Travis Wells in a close second. We will know our winner tonight. And just to restate, it's all for fun. We're not winning any prizes. It's just a little healthy battle here at the newsroom.
And now I'm in last place. What happened there? Coming up next on your hometown station, a focus on work zone safety, how VDOT is using this car cushion to send its message.
And at 6:27, he's been a familiar face at the Greenbrier for nearly 3 decades. Now he is being celebrated this week. That's in tonight's Good News here at home.
Plus, Brent is back in the Elephant Auto Insurance Weather Center. Stay right there for your hometown forecast.
Investigators in Franklin County are looking for help to figure out who's stealing things in the Snow Creek area. The sheriff's office says several locations have been hit recently. They include True Vine, Cooper's Mountain, Belcher, and Mount Carmel roads.
They've had a lot of tools that's been taken from outbuildings and sheds. We've had wheelbarrows, things of that nature that people have taken. We've also had people that's went in homes and taken electronics like TVs, stereos, those type things has been taken as well.
The sheriff's office is holding a meeting about these larcenies tomorrow night at 7 at Snow Creek Elementary.
Did you know this is National Work Zone Awareness Week? Well, VDOT is taking this wrecked car cushion, a thing attached to the back of a barrier truck, on a work tour, and it's going to emphasize work zone safety.
Yeah, this one's actually been hit, as you can tell, and that's why we have it on display to show that it did do its job. These units are made to collapse when they're hit, but whomever hits it still, it's a pretty significant impact.
And VDOT is also encouraging everyone, Gene, listen up, to wear orange on Wednesday in support of work zone safety.
I have to remember that.
Orange.
Wear orange. And I did see a sign up on the highway today, work zone awareness, safety, that kind of thing. Speaking of driving, a soggy, really soggy, can be dangerous drive home tonight. Brent Watts is here. Are we going to be dealing with this rain all night long, Brent?
A couple more hours. We're thinking most of this will end before midnight. And I'm going to show you the radar. So far, I picked up about 1/3 of an inch. Some cases close to 1/2 an inch of rain. There's more falling right now, so we'll add up those totals for you again tonight at 11. We'll take a look at the forecast and look at other chances of rain this week.
Now, from the Elephant Auto Insurance Weather Center, your hometown forecast.
Well, everybody picked up on some beneficial rain today, much needed rainfall. We're still finding the rain across the Roanoke Valley. Visibility looking a little bit better now that the heaviest of rain has now moved east of the metro into Bedford County, Botetourt County, extending all the way into Pittsylvania County along the 29 corridor. See this area right here, this red, if you're looking at that on the weather app too or online, and you're seeing that on the radar, that is the heaviest of rain. Gusty wind too, approaching Volans, also into Halifax and South Boston. Lynchburg getting some extremely heavy rain, but just back to the west, it's over Bedford. This also will be moving right over top of you within the next 45 minutes or so. So just plan on a very dangerous, if you want to call it, commute, because we've got ponding water along the roadways when you get this much heavy rain, especially in some of the metro areas. So just keep that in mind. Now, the backside of the rain is already in view coming through the New River Valley. It's not quite as heavy in Blacksburg and along the Interstate 77 corridor, and the rain has ended out towards the Marion area. So we're going to see the end of rain coming in before midnight. So the next couple hours we'll see that move east, maybe 1 or 2 lingering showers. The severe threat has stayed down across the south today, where it has been quite a bit warmer into the 60s and 70s. We're stuck in the 50s, and we're okay with that because that kept most of the stormy weather out of the region. So some passing showers and storms this evening. Otherwise, we're looking at lows in the mid-50s tonight. Most of the night should be dry, but we can't rule out one stray shower early in the morning on Tuesday, then skies clearing out as the day goes on. It will be quite warm, but blustery. Those winds bringing in those southerly gusts about 20 to 30 miles per hour, but also bringing in the warmth. Highs in the upper 70s to low 80s across the Blue Ridge and Lynchburg and Danville. And then as we look ahead to the next couple days, we're generally going to see clearing skies. Notice that early morning shower on Tuesday, and then by the afternoon, everybody clears out thanks to those southerly winds. Now, we'll stay dry until we get into Wednesday and that is when we're going to have our next chance of some rain. Notice those gusts tomorrow, 10 to 15 miles per hour sustained, and then gusting as high as 30 at times. Wednesday's rain coming in late in the day. Highs will be in the 70s. We'll have to keep a close eye on the timing of that because a few of those could be on the stronger side. Rain Wednesday night into early Thursday, and then a windy end to the work week. Cooler too, with highs on Friday only around 50 degrees. We'll bring the sunshine back out just in time for the weekend.
Hokies football coach Justin Fuente earns a contract extension. Plus, we'll preview tonight's NCAA championship game and take a look back at Brad Keselowski's inaugural Martinsville win in the STP 500.
Now at the Toyota Sports Desk, here's WDBJ7's Travis Wells.
As the Hokies continue spring football practice in Blacksburg, today head coach Justin Fuente was rewarded for his efforts since taking over for Frank Beamer. Fuente has signed a contract extension that takes him through the 2023 season. His deal is now worth nearly $26 million over 7 years, including performance bonuses and incentives. He led the Hokies to a 10-4 record last season, including a spot in the ACC title game as Tech broke 10 offensive records. The stage is now set for college basketball's national championship game tonight between North Carolina and Gonzaga. The two #1 seeds have had different paths to the title game, but there is a resemblance when you take a good look at how each team is built.
They play two post players. They got three players on the perimeter. You know, any of the three of them can be the point. They believe in running. They believe in getting the ball inside. They change their defenses a little, but not much. They're mostly a man-to-man team. So we're very similar.
Both these teams are probably facing for the first time, depth that mirrors each other inside, but also a willingness to just keep going and going in there, whether it's off the pass or even off offensive rebounds.
Brad Keselowski became the first two-time winner this season in NASCAR's Monster Energy Series, taking the checkered flag in yesterday's STP 500 at Martinsville. Keselowski got past Kyle Busch for good at lap 458, leading the final 43 circuits on his way to the checkered flag. He now has 23 career wins, but yesterday was his first at the iconic half-mile track that is celebrating 70 years in 2017.
You know, it's the legacy of this sport is attached to tracks like Martinsville. And so I think that makes them special places. And for me, of course, you want to win everywhere you go. You wouldn't be a competitor if you didn't feel that way. But there is something, extra that is added when you win at tracks that are tied to the legacy of the sport, tied to the legacy of NASCAR.
It was opening day across the big leagues today, and the Nationals' Bryce Harper did what he does on opening day against the Marlins. Harper crushed a pitch deep and out of Nats Park in the 6th inning to get his team on the board. It's Harper's 5th opening day dinger. Off-season addition Adam Lynn then made the most of his DC debut, smacking a 2-run homer on his first swing to give the Nats the lead. Washington came back to knock out the Marlins 4-2 the final. And we're coming right back after this quick look at the day's stocks.
In tonight's good news here at home, if you've ever been to the Greenbrier, you know it's a very special resort. You can count on the staff to make your visit extra special.
That's right, especially one particular staff member who's been working there as long as many guests have been alive. WDBJ7's Bruce Young went to learn more about the Greenbrier's greeter, Frank Mosley.
It's Monday afternoon, and the last holdouts from the weekend are checking out. But you can't leave without a final goodbye from Frank, the official Greenbrier greeter.
Hey, to make them feel, make them feel welcome.
Don't be confused.
Yeah, we're getting, sweetheart.
Frank doesn't just greet at the door.
You are so precious.
A walk with him anywhere in the resort brings conversation with guests.
Oh, you do so much. You're wonderful.
And employees. No one is exempt from Frank's infectious joy.
99% are nice as they can be. I met 2 graduate people in the last 61 years, 59 years. 2, that's all.
He's the most senior employee there, 59 years, with only 3 days out.
But I can remember 2. I don't know when I got the 3rd one from.
And all that while as a temporary employee. He said it was only 5 years ago when someone finally told him he was permanently full-time.
Did you have a good birthday?
I sure did, honey.
And now they're celebrating him with a blowout birthday party for his 84th this Saturday.
It actually started out as a very small, intimate get-together, and when people started to find out about it, we got call after call and Facebook posts and emails about, oh, we want to come to Frank's party too. So it turns out there's going to be hundreds of people here from all over the country.
To celebrate the longevity of a man and his work at the Greenbrier.
I have no intention of retiring. I can't even spell retire, so I'm stuck. I'm going to be here until they run me off, or even my health won't let me work any longer.
From the Greenbrier, Bruce Young, WDBJ7.
How sweet is that?
I love it. And you know what? I remember going to the Greenbrier many years ago for lunch, and I remember him greeting me. He just has that personality. You don't forget it.
I would imagine his party's going to be quite the shindig.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know it is. Yeah.
It is.
He brightens up the Greenbrier even on a cloudy, rainy day. We've got more rain in the forecast this evening.
All right.
All right. Thank you for watching. We hope you have a great evening. Good night.